Asia, what would you say that Medea's funniest memory with you is?
I think the funniest memory I have of Medea is how she used to ration out the orange juice in the house and make you keep your same cup all day with your name on it. She would never give you more than a swallow of juice. And she would tell us, "You ain't gonna drink all my juice." That is my funniest memory of my great grandmother.
What do you think Medea's legacy to this family is?
I think Medea's legacy is being known as the whooping her. Medea used to chase us all around the house with a thing she called the strap.
The straw.
The strap. And she used to chase us all over the house with it. And she used to make us go pick orange switches from the tree. And she would whoop us all day and all night. And we would all hide underneath the kitchen table and push each other out to see who would get first lick.
Woman, what would you say that Medea's legacy on this family would be?
The importance of being a strong black woman. And my grandmother raised 6 girls by herself. She worked all her life. She taught them the values of life. And she was a strong representative in the community. And through thick and thin, she kept her family values that she instilled on me and my family.
Woman, what would you say that your funniest memory of Medea is?
I remember the time when I was younger, my grandmother was a beautiful woman. And she used to take me everywhere with us. And she was a very outstanding person in the community. And we went to Woolworths. And we would go and eat at the Woolworths counter. And back then, the meals and stuff were reasonable. And my grandmother would sit down. And she was very cultured and had etiquette. And she would say, "Honey, could you pass me another glass of water? Dear, could I have some more sugar? Would you bring my sandwich with mayonnaise? Can I have ketchup?" And we would eat, and we would eat well. And then my grandmother would get up and prance out and look in her purse and leave the waitress a dime. That's all she would get.
Bianca, what would you say the funniest memory of Medea that you have?
When we were at my graduation and everyone has all these dresses on, and when we went to have the toast, everyone was saying things, and Medea grabs the glass and says, "Happy New Year!"
Bianca, what would you say that Medea's legacy to you is?
Is that since she's like the mother of all these generations, that everyone knows that everyone who meets her knows that no matter what, she keeps going, and that she's very persistent, and she loves everyone. Medea.
So, Aunt Rita, what would you say that Medea means to you?
That's a very good question, and I'm going to give you a nice answer. How's that?
We can do it.
Medea means a lot to me. I remember when my mom had passed away, and one of the things that Medea said to me was, she says, "I cannot take the place of your mother, but I am there for you as a mother." And that meant a lot to me because only certain people can take that spot, and she was one of them. And I thank God for her. And she's never, ever forgotten about me in any aspect, me and my son Landon. Even to this day, when she sees me, she always asks me, "How's my boy doing?" And I appreciate that, because sometimes when you've lost a mother, the Lord will always make sure there's someone there in your life to kind of help fill that void, and she's been that person.
Aunt Rita,
Yes.
What was your first impression of Medea when you met her?
Well, she made me feel like I was one of the family right off the bat. And we had something in common, being that she was from the South and my mother was from the South, and I've lived in the South, so hey.
Jeremiah, what would you say that your funniest memory with Medea is?
I would say one of the funniest times with Medea would my brother and I, Rodney, we used to come and visit Wilkes-Barre for the summers, and we used to spend some of that time with Medea. And you know, being young children, young adolescents, we always wanted to go outside and play. But of course, Medea always had the news on, and anything that happened in the world, like so if something happened in Africa, she would be like, "You can't go outside, they're killing people." And I'd be like, "Yo, we're in Pennsylvania, we're not in Africa." So
She would.
that was just one of my fondest memories, when she would just like generalize all the news and all the media to what's going on outside. So I don't know.
Jeremiah, what would you say Medea's legacy is to you?
To me, the legacy of Medea would be history. It all goes back to when in 2008, Medea cast her vote for the first African American president ever, right? But when Medea was younger, first of all, she didn't have the rights to vote as an African American and as a woman. Now she has the opportunity to vote for the first African American president. So it's just the history that she has lived throughout her life, and the significance that she and our other ancestors have paid for our freedom, right? And we have to take advantage of the freedom and the cost that they paid for. It's so sad that some of us aren't taking advantage of the freedoms, and we're squandering whatever it is that we have. We need to take this more seriously, and we need to...
So I'm Barbara. What would you say your funniest memory of Medea is?
Well, it might not be funny. It might be a little bit funny, and it might be a little bit scary. When Mama used to work nights, and I'd be at home with the kids, and I was still young, and I always loved to cook. Well, food was always scarce, and of course groceries were scarce. But I wanted to make a jelly cake. I wanted to decide I was going to do my testing on a jelly cake. So I made a jelly cake, and it was lopsided, and I put the jelly on the inside. And when she came home from work, I had the cake on the table. And the first thing she said, I'm gonna beat your blank, 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 right? And so I quickly got into the bed, and I was praying the whole time. I hope that she won't beat me. I hope that she won't beat me. And then I looked, and she was sitting in front of the stove eating the cake. So I said, okay, well, maybe I'm out of trouble now. And the next day I got the beat.
Okay. What would you say something that Medea said to you has lasted with you through your many years?
Prayer. My mother has always been a praying woman. And even when she says the grace, she prays until everybody is hungry and famished, because she prays for everybody. She has a heart of prayer.
Okay.